11 tips you need to know when going to Universal Studios Hollywood with young kids and toddlers. Hi, it's Tina here, where I give you theme park tips and travel tips specifically for families with young kids and toddlers. And today I'll tell you everything you need to know when visiting Universal Studios Hollywood in Los Angeles, California. Number 1, let's talk about tickets. A one-day ticket to Universal Studios Hollywood ranges from $99 to $140, depending on the time of the year that you go and also if it's a weekday or a weekend. A child ticket is for ages 3 to 9 and anybody ages 10 and up needs an adult ticket. Kids 2 and under can go in the park for free without a ticket. They don't sell multi-day discounted tickets like Disney does, but if you do plan on going to Universal Studios for more than one day, you might want to consider getting an annual pass because the annual pass pays for itself in 2 to 3 visits. Annual passes are just one price for everybody, ages 3 and up. You can sometimes find discounted tickets at Costco, AAA, Groupon. Just to make sure to check against the official website to make sure that you're getting a cheaper ticket. Keep in mind that only the tickets bought from the official website can get early admission to the park. Certain Ghost City Los Angeles passes also have Universal Studios Hollywood tickets. So if you are planning to visit other attractions in LA, you might want to check out the Ghost City Los Angeles pass and you might save some money with the pass. Getting to Universal Studios Hollywood. So with young kids and strollers, we always find it easier just to drive there. If you are driving to Universal Studios, expect LA traffic and add like maybe 30 to 60 minutes more to give you enough time to fight through traffic, to find parking, to load the kids in the stroller, and to walk into the park. General parking is $28 and preferred parking is $50. Remember to always take a picture of where you parked. There are characters on the poles in the parking lot, like Spider-Man or Curious George, so that way you'll be able to find your car very easily at the end of the day. There are also public transportation and hotel shuttles if you live in a nearby hotel. When to go to Universal Studios Hollywood. Weekends, summer, Christmas holiday, just whenever the kids are out of school will be the busy time for Universal Studios. And there tend to be a lot more people at the park and the ticket prices tend to be higher. So if you do have young kids that are not in school yet, try to avoid the busy times or go on the weekdays to avoid the crowd. If you did purchase tickets from the official website, you can enter the park 30 minutes before park opens. And if your young kids are early birds, you can take advantage of the early park admission to do rides that typically have really long lines. And we'll talk about rides later. What to bring? Definitely bring a stroller for your toddler to nap in and for your younger kids to sit in. The park is very big, there's a lot of walking involved, so younger kids tend to want to sit. They do have stroller rentals in the park, but we always just bring our own stroller. Bring lots of snacks, water, juice boxes to keep your little ones entertained and sometimes just to keep them occupied while waiting in line. They do have water refill stations all throughout the park, and they also sell really cute character refillable drink bottles that you can do really cheap refills throughout the park. Make sure to bring sunscreen, especially if you come in the summer, and swimsuit for your little ones. There is a water zone, like a splash pad inside the Despicable Me area. So make sure to bring swimsuits so your kids can play in the splash zone. So in LA, you're not likely to be needing ponchos. So unless the weather says that it's gonna rain, you're not likely to be needing ponchos. But you do need to bring a light jacket for everybody in the family. It gets really chilly toward late afternoon, evening time, and you will need a jacket for sure when the sun starts to go down. Watch the video What's in My Park Bag to see what I bring to theme parks. It's gonna be linked down in the description box. The Universal Studios app. Download the Universal Studios Hollywood app ahead of time on your phone. It is a different app from the Universal Studios Orlando, so make sure you have the Universal Studios Hollywood app downloaded. The app shows you park hours, park map, and you can also find wait times for rides and show times in the app. The app also shows you all the restaurants where you can dine. Unfortunately, you cannot use the app to purchase food for pickup, unlike the Disney app. The app also tells you the minimum height requirement for each ride and which ride allows child switch. Child switch is when you have a child that does not meet the high requirement for a ride. So one parent can go on a ride with a child that is tall enough, and when they finish, the second parent can go on the same ride without waiting in line again. And the child that is tall enough gets to go twice if she wishes to. You also need the app to get on the virtual queue. Right now, the only ride that has a virtual queue is the Secret Life of Pets ride. And you need to be on site in order to get on the virtual queue. This is another thing that is different from the Disney app as well. The Disney app, you can get on a virtual queue anywhere. For Universal Studios, you have to be on site in the park or very near the park in order to get on the virtual queue. Stairways. There's an upper lot and a lower lot at Universal Studios Hollywood. The lower lot has the Jurassic World, Transformers, and Revenge of the Mummy ride. Everything else is on the upper lot. The upper lot definitely has more attractions. So to get to the lower lot, you need to go through 4 really long escalators. Young kids with strollers are not allowed to use the elevator, so everybody needs to go down the escalator. The elevator is reserved for people in wheelchairs and not for kids in strollers. We need to all get out of the stroller to go down the escalator. We cannot use the elevator. It's only for disabled people. It's not for kids in strollers. You need to take your kids out of the stroller and go down the escalators with your kid and the stroller. So when we go, we always do one parent with the kids and the other parent with the stroller. The 4 sets of escalators are long and it takes a good 10 minutes to go from the upper lot to the lower lot. So when you go to the lower lot, you want to do everything in the lower lot before you go back up, so you don't have to keep going up and down and wasting your time on the escalators. We didn't spend too much time on the lower lot. My kids are not Transformer fans and not dinosaur fans. There is a Dino Play playground in the lower lot, and that was a big hit with my kids. Now let's talk about kiddie areas. There are a few areas at Universal Studios Hollywood that are geared toward young kids and toddlers. Dino Park, like I mentioned before, Dino Park is located at the lower lot, right beside the Jurassic World ride. So you can have an older kid that is tall enough go on the ride, and younger kids can play in Dino Play. There are a few features that I really like about Dino Play. There's only one entrance going in and out of the Dino Play, and there's always one staff member at the entrance. Dino Play also is very toddler friendly. It doesn't have the scary dinosaur sounds at Universal Studios Orlando. In Orlando, their dinosaur playground is a lot bigger, but you will keep hearing the dinosaur roaring in the background and some small kids get scared. Let's go up here. But that's not the case in LA. Here, Dino Place is a bit smaller, but it's very, very toddler friendly, and there's no scary dinosaur sounds. Water Zone and Despicable Me area. There are over 80 different water play features in the Water Zone where the kids can play. So like I said before, remember to bring a swimsuit so your kids can play in the Water Zone. There's also a small playground right beside the Water Zone where the kids can play in the playground while one adult lines out for the silly, swirly fun ride within the Despicable Me area. There's a playground right here by the ride, so the kids can go up to the playground while the adults wait in the ride. Also, not many people know about this, but right outside the Minion Mayhem Ride, there are a few painted doors with doorbells, and if you ring the doorbell, somebody will talk to you. It's really fun for the kids. Subscribe to my channel. I do family travel tips and travel vlogs. And check out our vlog to Universal Studios Hollywood. Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and I have my kids dress up in Harry Potter gear when we go to Universal Studios. So I have a separate video on tips and everything you need to know when you're going to Wizarding World of Harry Potter, including Ollivanders Wand experience, where's the best spot for photos. I'll link that video down below, make sure to watch it. Rides. Come early in the morning before everyone gets here, or stay later in the night when the crowd thins to go on your favorite ride. You probably already know most of the rides at Universal have high requirements, and young kids need to meet a certain high requirement in order to go on the ride, and they do check each child if they don't think that they're tall enough. The Universal Studios Hollywood app does tell you the high requirement for each ride and also which rides allow child switch. There are a few rides that I want to go with you into details. The Flight of the Hippogriff ride in Harry Potter Land. The minimum height is 39 inches in LA, but it's only 36 inches in Orlando. It was my kid's favorite roller coaster in the park. and my 2-year-old went on the ride at least 3 times in Orlando. However, he's not tall enough to ride it in LA, so just keep that in mind. The Despicable Me Minion Mayhem Ride. The ride has a minimum height of 40 inches. However, young kids that don't meet the height requirement can go in and sit in the not moving seats. Not a lot of people know about this. 在这边啊哦。But you need to tell the staff that you are gonna sit in the non-moving seat when you're about to go in. So the boys are not tall enough. They're gonna be in the non-moving seats. There's only 2 non-moving seats in the entire theater, so you might need to wait a bit if there are people in front of you. We're in the not moving seats because they're too young, too small. And it's basically the same ride except your chairs are not moving. That was really fun. Jurassic World The Ride has a minimum height of 42 inches. It is a boat ride and you will get wet on the ride. We should have brought ponchos. I know. I already feel wet. You just need to be careful with young kids because the dinosaurs are very realistic looking, and even the kids that are tall enough to do the ride can get scared. Some parts of the ride is dark and the dinosaurs are scary. There is also a small drop at the end of the ride, and that's when you get really wet. Are you wet? The studio tour. The studio tour is a must-do ride at Universal Studios Hollywood. The ride closes 1 to 2 hours earlier than the park, so make sure to check the app to see when the last tour is, and do the studio tour before the ride closes. The studio tour itself is an hour long, and if the line is long, you might be lining up for another half an hour to an hour. So make sure halfway through the line, have your young kids go to the bathroom. And there are signs in the line says that there's gonna be no bathroom beyond this point. So make sure they go to the bathroom before starting the studio tour, because it's gonna be more than an hour before they can use the bathroom again. Go on the studio tour while it is still daylight. We went on the studio tour toward the end of the day, and by the time we got on the tour, the sun already gone down. You can still see the sets and everything, but it doesn't turn out so great in pictures and videos. So definitely go on the studio tour during daytime when you can take really amazing photos and videos. The studio tour is super awesome and amazing and definitely worth the wait. Make sure to have your kids sit on the inside of the bus because there are no windows and no seat belts. And on the tour, you do see lightning and flooding and dinosaurs. So little kids will get scared. So make sure they're sitting beside you or with you.
Your screen, this was used.
When we went, the girls wanted to sit together in the front and they all got scared, and by the end of the ride, they were sitting on their daddy's laps. Most of the rides geared toward younger kids wouldn't require you to put away your items in the lockers. And if you have a stroller with you, you can put all of your non-important items in the stroller and carry your smaller purse with you into the ride. If you do decide to go on more thrilling rides, there are small lockers that you can use for free, and there are bigger lockers that you can pay money for. Shows. There are a lot of shows at Universal Studios Hollywood, and you can find show times in the app. There is a water show where you see boats, people diving in the water, and you get splashed, you get wet. And there's a special effects show where you see people getting set on fire and how they do these special effects in the movies. Personally, I think these shows are not very age appropriate for young kids. I don't want my kids to see people play with fire. There is an animal show that shows you how they train animal actors, and these animal actors will put on a show right in front of you. The animal show is definitely the one that is the most age appropriate for younger kids. Make sure to get to the show at least 10 to 20 minutes before the show starts, so you can get seats and settle down in your seats before the show starts. Universal Studios CityWalk. CityWalk opens a few more hours after the park closes. Check the app to see the CityWalk hours as well. Universal CityWalks has some of the cheapest places to eat. There is a food court upstairs, and at night all the lights light up in CityWalk and it's very pretty. So that's 11 tips on Universal Studios Hollywood with young kids. Check out our Universal Studios Hollywood vlog and spend the day with us at Universal Studios Hollywood. If you have any questions, comment down below. I answer every single comment. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more videos on theme park tips, and follow me on Instagram. Bye!